Okay, how in the crap do you get a motorcycle license? At least in the US anyway. And also, how does that look different from most of the rest of the civilized world? Stick around a few minutes, we're gonna find out. What's up everyone? It's Alex. I'm actually answering viewer questions again, but this was kind of inspired by a viewer question comment. So this was inspired by a viewer named John, and I'm not gonna go into the entire comment, but basically what John said was, he lives in the UK, and he noticed that from discussions on Facebook and YouTube, etc., that licensing requirements and what you can ride with a motorcycle license differ between, like, say, the UK and Europe to the United States, etc. And John's absolutely right. So for my international viewers out there, I need to explain this. In the United States, once you pass the requirements to get a motorcycle license, there is no graduated license here. Once you have a license, you can ride whatever you want. And the reason for that being, basically, as John said, the US is the land of the free, so to speak. Sometimes more free than others, we're not going to get into it. Basically in the US, there are massive interest groups that can lobby legislation and make sure that certain things get passed, certain things don't, and really press on lawmakers. And some of those groups are motorcycle oriented. And motorcycle oriented groups, as well as the motorcycle community as a whole in the United States, tend to kind of focus a lot of their energy on making sure that once you are licensed, you can ride whatever you want. You have the freedom to ride whatever you want. You're not restricted to a certain CC size, etc. So most lawmakers are not going to go so far as to impose restrictions on motorcycle licensing and sizes in the United States because they're scared to death that then they will then piss off that portion of their population, so to speak. I think graduated motorcycle licenses in the US would be a fantastic idea, which is not a popular opinion here. A lot of people are going to be mad at me for that. But I think if you made someone go for 125 or maybe even 250 cc's or something like that, if you restricted the size of the engine on a motorcycle you could get for, say, the first year of having a motorcycle license, I think it would go a long way to help people learn skills, and probably we would have less motorcycle related accidents in the United States. That being said, a lot of motorcycle related accidents in the US are actually the fault of irresponsible car drivers too, so that's a debatable topic. Not here what we're here to do. Now that that's out of the way, and my international viewers are thoroughly confused about the fact that most of the world has a graduated license, the US, get a license, you can ride whatever you want to. How do you actually go about getting a motorcycle license in the US for my more beginner riders and my less experienced viewers? Super easy. In the vast majority, if not all states, there are two ways to get your motorcycle license. Number one, you can go down to your DMV or whoever handles your licensing for cars, and you can take a test, an actual little, usually it's in a parking lot, but an actual little road test where they will test you on several key skills of a motorcycle. You pass it, you do some paperwork, you get a motorcycle endorsement on your license. Easy enough, okay? Number two, and the way I much more highly recommend, and the way I got my motorcycle license, is you sign up for a motorcycle safety course. In most areas, that is a 2-day course where they teach you all of the basics of riding a motorcycle, and they teach you all the basics and fundamentals of safety while riding a motorcycle in the US. Take that course. If you pass it, you get a certificate. Take the certificate down to your licensing authority, do the paperwork, and get your motorcycle endorsement. So that's it. It is that simple. Those are two ways to do it. Way number one, you're going to have to find a bike to practice on or something and know some skills. A lot of people that have been riding for a long time without a license usually will take way number one. They just go down, take a quick little cone course, get their license. A lot of beginners will go for the safety course, but I highly recommend it. I've even seen advanced riders go take a safety course and learn stuff that they never knew to begin with. So, as always, I highly recommend, if you don't have a license and you're gonna get one, whether you're experienced or new, but especially if you're new, take a safety course, get your license that way. But in the US, that's it. You're either gonna go to your license office, take a test, and get your motorcycle endorsement, or you're gonna take a 2-ish day safety course, get a certificate, and go to the licensing office to get your license that way. I hope that's been helpful. I hope the discussion in the beginning on how it's different from the rest of the world wasn't too confusing for my new riders or anything, but you need to understand, you know, in a lot of parts of Asia and Europe especially, people are on a graduated licensing system, and that might be why you see a higher percentage of motorcycle riders in those areas, and a lot of people that enjoy it for, you know, decades and decades and decades, and maybe do it even safer. Unfortunately, in the US, we have a lot of big open spaces, we have big interstate highways, there's a lot of traffic, and it is, I think, a little bit more dangerous to ride motorcycles in the US than it is in a lot of other parts of the world, just because of the open, fast nature of a lot of how we travel here. But that being said, the right skills and everything, I think you can give yourself a much better chance of staying safe, be vigilant, avoid all the idiots on their cell phones in the cars, and try to have a good time riding, okay? That's it for today, guys. Really, really basic one, but people are asking questions, so you know how this works. You ask, I answer. I'm Alex. Peace.